How's it going? Welcome back out to Doris Ranch. I'm Tobin. Today on my adventure, I am joined by my wife, Alexis, and Luna. She didn't make it out with me yesterday for my full review of FDR from Strike Gold Shave. Today is an absolutely beautiful November day. It was a high of around 60, probably in the mid 50s about now. Sun is starting to set on us. Did I already say I'm going to be doing my review of cane from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I've had this set for years now. It just came back this past Friday, a couple days ago. Today's Sunday. You guys will probably see this by Monday is when I hope to have it uploaded. This is the green Christmas Cube. I'll show you guys my cube again here in a second. Douglas warned me that these things would sweat if I put them in anything, so I drilled some holes in it, and I've tried doing a few other tricks with it to get air to flow to it, because I really liked the idea of having my cube in a cube. But they do sweat if you put them in anything. I had no problems really during the summer, but now that I had zero problems with it, to be honest. During the summer, I made them like late spring or early spring of this year, and then all summer long they were fine. But now that the air is changing outside, and Oregon is very moist, as you can imagine, so I made these cubes out of the baseball holders. I drilled holes in the top, the bottom. I haven't put any in the sides yet. I even tried having it to where when I'm not using it, that is propped up just a little. It's stuck. Anyways, it's not working. So I need to figure out something with it. And that cube is a green festive scent. I'll put it up there, and some of the differences with it and the other cubes. I love it. That was actually given to me last year from Douglas. Everything else in the video I have paid for. Thank you once again, Douglas, for that. Got that from him last year, and I was never able to use it in a video. I wanted to use it today. It did come back the other day along with cane, so that is available now. My Semogue Mistura, so that's Badger and Boar mix. My Captain's Choice bowl, and I've already scooped cane into my tub. This is the old Coke and Butter label with the old splash bottle. A few years ago, so these still say Crown King on them. A few years ago, when like 4 or 5 years ago now, when Doug came out with the new bottles and the ones that said Phoenix on it instead of Crown King, notice that my soap has Crown King on it as well. I picked up, I think it was gifted to me, a set of cane in the new bottles. I want to make this a giveaway video for that set of cane, and that is in the CK61 base. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The scent profile with cane: pure organic peppermint. And oh buddy, I have some other peppermint soaps. This one is a beautiful peppermint. Nothing synthetic about it. This is homegrown in Doug's lab. He has made it himself, and it's perfect. So we have peppermint, corn mint, talc, rose, bergamot, oak moss, Haitian vetiver, Madagascar vanilla. That's important. We'll talk about that in a second. I talked about it once before in my Rustler's Ridge review. Coumarin and light musk. This could be classified as a fougere, especially with that vetiver, oak moss, and coumarin. Those are 3 of the things that you need, along with a citrus like bergamot up in the top. And so all those are checked, and so you can definitely classify this as a fougere, and Doug calls it a winter fougere, and I like that. I think it's extremely fitting. Definitely got way more water than I need at this point, but we're going to fix that here in a second when I hit it with this Cube Preshave that's on my face. Just before I started whipping up my lather, I dipped the tips in water. It's a little bit more water than I need at this point, but I think it's going to work out just fine. In this video, I've been playing with razor blades, and I thought I'd start doing it in some of my videos, and I've still been going through my slant razors. So in my red handle, I have a first use feather. In the white handle, I have a first use Kai. I think they're both equally sharp. I know a lot of people give the edge to feather, and I have a mirror below you guys, but it keeps turning on me, so I'm not using it. I'm going to be using the camera. And maybe feather is just a touch sharper, but after the first use, I give the sharpness to the Kai. I think Kai actually gets sharper the first couple of shaves. Once you get to about the third shave, I think that's when it stops getting sharper, and it starts coming to the end of its life. I can get 4 or 5 good shaves out of a feather, but I can get 6 or 7 great shaves out of a Kai. I love both. If I had to have only one, I would pick the Kai, and that's because I believe, and I'm going to be experimenting with this more, I believe the first shave is a better shave with the feather. But after that, the second, the third, the fourth, and even the fifth shave, I give the sharpness and the overall comfort to Kai. I really wish I could get this mirror to work. Play nice, mirror. Maybe if I just hold it. I got you guys hanging from a tree from a filbert. For those who this might be your first time watching my content, this is Doris Ranch. It is a public park, kinda. It is, but it's also still a working hazelnut farm orchard. And here in Oregon, we call them filberts, which is a French word. Early settlers here that were growing hazelnuts were French, and so that's where that comes from. This is the oldest operating hazelnut farm in America, and over 90% of North America's hazelnuts actually come from Oregon. In the red, first use feather, first use Kai. A lot of people call this cane the Christmas or winter version of Cad. That's another fragrance from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. And I agree with that 100%. Now, if you have Cad and you've never tried this, the biggest difference that you're going to notice is, of course, the peppermint. When you first apply the splash, Luna and my wife are playing. When you first apply the splash, you get a heavy dose of that peppermint, and that is coming from, of course, the peppermint, but also the corn mint. Corn mint is a minty, herbaceous mint, adding a touch of greenness to it. Cad and trampling my stuff. Cad and cane, what they have in common is the talc, rose, bergamot, Haitian vetiver, coumarin, and light musks. The differences are the peppermint, the corn mint, the oak moss, and the Madagascar vanilla. Whoop, almost did it on the other side, and I see that I got myself right there a second ago. I'd blame it on Luna, but I won't blame it on Luna. So this is first use Kai. The peppermint and corn mint together create this beautiful, minty, fresh, invigorating fragrance. Once you get into about the middle and then the dry down, and as the scent lingers throughout the day, you still get little hints of the peppermint, but from there it becomes like this perfect Christmas winter barbershop. If you're not careful, that's what a feather will do. It'll get you. Madagascar vanilla is the most premium type of vanilla that you can buy. It is a very premium, rich, deep vanilla. Now, this is one of those fragrances that are so well blended that aside from the peppermint, it can be difficult to pick out the different notes. It can be done. Like, I don't pick out the rose per se by itself. I do get this beautiful kind of floral essence in the middle of it. It's not strong. If you don't like rose, don't worry about it. If you love rose, maybe you'll pick out the rose. But what I think you'll more pick out would just be a floral presence. This is like the ideal winter barbershop. It really is. And if you've ever tried cad, just imagine cad with a slight touch of peppermint, and then I think that oak moss and the vanilla is just adding a new layer, a new dimension to it. So very similar to cad, but at the same time quite different. I actually have cad on the back of my arm up here, and then the cane up here. It's beautiful. Hi, Luna. For the giveaway, if you're overseas, I'll mail you just the soap. If you're here in the States, I'll do the full set. I have used the soap a little bit, and then the splash is barely touched. I'd say that they're about 80% used, 90% are not used, remaining. I'll try and remember to put some photos of them right up here. And to enter the giveaway, you don't have to tell me a story, but to enter the giveaway, what's the most memorable gift you've received, or what's the most memorable gift you've given? And then after that, just put cane, and then I know that you're wanting to enter the giveaway. And I will mail that out when I do my next full review of PAA, which will be double SOB. I received that the other day, and I need to do my first impressions of it. I still have not put my nose on it. I hope to record that tomorrow, Monday, and then start working with it. I have a review to do with that. Horizons. I did the first impressions of that and Cowboy Up this weekend. I want to do those two reviews next weekend, and I'm hoping I can squeeze in double SOB maybe on Thursday. And then I also just received, and I still need to do my first impressions of Mechanical Forest from Alien Shave. Oop, that's habit. I caught myself though. Did you guys see my FDR shave where I started doing a third pass and I was only going to do 2 passes? And then not only did I do a third pass, I did everything the same direction that I do on a second pass. So essentially I did the second pass twice. I think I got too wrapped up in talking about FDR. I'm ready for the winter fragrances. I've actually been looking at my different winter fragrances. When it comes to, most of the peppermint stuff, a lot of them are just a straight peppermint. Have you guys ever seen or gotten your nose on, I whipped it up earlier today just playing with it in my new brush from Adam, the lavender peppermint from Soap Commander? I don't know if that's available this year or not. It's one of the limited editions I picked up a few years ago. I just wanted to whip it up and play with it in that new brush. What I really like about cane is that it is a peppermint fragrance, but at the same time there's just so much going on that's not even funny. In typical PAA fashion, it's just peppermint done right to begin with, and then from there It's just completely elevated with everything that he's using in it. Like the coumarin is derived from tonka bean, and since 1954 it's been illegal to use coumarin in the United States because of does something to the liver, some kind of liver failure or something, and they have to use synthetics. But whatever it is that Doug and Fran use for their synthetic coumarin, it's beautiful. Coumarin kind of brings like this fresh cut hay, a little bit green, and can even bring with it like a hint of vanilla, which, you know, impossible to pick that out. But the dry down of this fragrance with that vetiver, the vanilla, the coumarin, and then the light musk. And this is not by any means a musky fragrance. If you've tried Cad has a little musky-iskness to it, but not really. And the same is true with this. Like, if you didn't know the musk was there, you probably wouldn't pick it out. It's one of those things that it's in the dry down in the later stages that it really shines. Between the two razors, my rinse bowl is getting quite full of soap. Third pass. So to enter that giveaway, what's your favorite gift that you've given, or memorable gift that you've given or received? For me, a gift I'll never forget is my BB gun when I was a kid. And then a gift that I'll never forget giving was when our sons, Austin and Lucas, they were younger. I think Luke was maybe 4 or 5. And they're both a couple of wise guys. And every time, it was the Christmas season leading up to it, like November and whatnot, about this time of year. And of course they were younger, so we were watching, like, you know, lots of kids programming. And every time like a girl toy commercial would come on or something like that, they would tease me and tell me how they were going to get me, you know, the Barbie or whatever it was. I forget exactly what all they were teasing me with, but for weeks this went on, and like they were just teasing me all the time how about they're going to get me these gifts that they, you know, were feminine. Nothing, if you're into feminine things, that's great. There's some feminine things I'm into, but they were having fun giving me a hard time. And so that Christmas, I gave them all their gifts, and I kept hyping it up. There was one thing that I was saving for them for the, you know, very last gift, and I just made them both believe that was the greatest, coolest thing ever, and that they were going to be so happy and so excited. And they, you know, so by the time they go through all their presents and they get all these really cool things that they want, they're left thinking that, oh my gosh, Dad still has this really cool gift for us. So build up the hype and get them sitting on the floor in front of the wife and I have photos of it. I'll try and dig them up. Hey Lex, try to remind me to find the boys with their My Little Ponies. And so, and they're both the scented types too. Back in the day, I don't think they make them scented anymore, but these ones were scented. And one was like popcorn, buttery popcorn or something. I forget the other one, cotton candy or something. So we make this big to-do about it. And our older son, Austin, he's kind of like starting to like question me, because I've always enjoyed pranking the kids. And so that's a gift I'll never forget. And the looks on their faces when they opened up their amazing gifts, and they were just My Little Ponies. I think Austin, the older one, he started, you know, wondering what exactly I was up to. Wouldn't you know, the next Christmas, they didn't tease me. So that's one thing I'll never forget giving. Ever. I could live 1,000 years and I'll never forget that Christmas. Damn fine shave, and you know what? Other than cutting myself right there at the beginning on that first pass, I really couldn't tell the difference. Of course, I was distracted and talking, right? But that old school CK1, I'm telling you, it still performs just as well as most. I love CK1. I can't believe it's unobtainium now. I love CK6, don't get me wrong, but CK1, I think it's still it's a base that has stood up to the test of time. I got a couple older bases, and they don't hold up quite as well. Like, they still perform well, right? They're good, but you can see, you know, some of the smaller minor differences, just the lack of the higher fat concentration and stuff like that from companies that are now gone. I've talked about it before, how there was a couple of companies that I loved, but, and there's, you know, this isn't the one thing that made it to where they didn't continue, but you could just tell that they weren't able to quite keep up, because there was a time 5 or 8 years ago where a lot of things were changing pretty fast in the community. And there were a few companies that they got left behind, and there's actually a couple of companies out there right now that I can't help but wonder how they're going to fare with this inflation, because that's one thing that's really putting a hurting on all of us, especially businesses, especially small businesses. And so it's just, you know, interesting to see how things, you know, play out. So far, 2023, we've lost a couple of companies that I didn't think we were going to lose them. So I always try and, you know, enjoy the little things, appreciate the companies that we do have, and that's why I try and focus on supporting the ones that I love, like PAA. Had to find my cane. Luna went barreling by earlier and she dragged it off. So the one I'm giving away is in the new bottle. Oh, beautiful. I said this before, I'll say it again. Normally when I'm at home, I'll let the alum sit for 2 or 3 minutes before applying. What I normally do is I'll go through and like rinse off my brush, rinse off the razor, do that kind of cleanup thing. And then I'll apply my splash. And then after a minute or so of it, if I'm going to apply a balm, then I'll apply the balm. I don't have a balm with me today. Damn good stuff, Maynard. Damn good stuff. This is the 9th year that cane has been available. So I assume it just means this would be the 11th year, because last year PA celebrated its 10th year, so we're in our 11th year. So I assume it didn't come out till the 2nd year. I should ask Doug that, if it's been 9 straight years, or if it came out and then like went away. But this is the 9th year with it. And for those who don't know, I didn't say at the beginning, I meant to. Fougere, if you're still watching, is French, another French word, and it means fern. And a fougere fragrance is, you can expect clean and natural smelling. Those are two of the characteristics that they need to have. So once again, don't forget my cane giveaway, and I appreciate you. If you're still watching, thank you very much. Luna, say goodbye. Can you speak? Oh, there's a better speak. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us. Happy holidays. Well, how did I do? How did the shave go? How did Luna do? She's waiting for me to throw her ball. It's always tricky throwing them in here. You got to keep them down low. My setup is right over here on the next row. I've been facing that way towards a newer orchard, one of the ones that was likely replaced due to the blight that's been affecting hazelnuts, filberts worldwide. Got you guys hanging from a tree here. Little bungee action going on with the tripod in the mirror, my stool. We have a filbert, a hazelnut tree in our backyard, and I'd say it's a little more yellow than these guys here. My bride over there with her book. It's a little big thanks, my friends. Don't forget to enter the cane giveaway if you're interested. Can't believe it's the holiday season. College football season is wrapping up. And I want to thank you guys once again for joining us. Hi.